there's going to be a slew of movies coming out. We're going to go through what I think are some of the biggest ones and also most interesting ones. That's a key detail there too. Some of them are small movies. Mickey 17. It's supposed to come out Easter weekend in April. Directed by Bong Joon-ho, who directed great movies like Parasite, and starring multiple Robert Pattinsons, 17 Robert Pattinsons, starring Toni Collette, Mark Ruffalo, Stephen Yeun, huge cast.
I'm going to give it an 8.
This movie, I am interested to hear what you say, because you watched Cobra Kai. This movie is Karate Kid Legends. The next installment in the Karate Kid franchise, now blending together the revamp of the Karate Kid franchise by bringing in both Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio. That's where I'm going to land, probably with you. I'll give it a 5 as well.
Okay,
I'm kind of middling because I wish they would stop sucking the bone marrow out of Jurassic Park for cash.
Welcome to Backseat Directing,
where we talk about movies, TV shows, comics, and more.
We're your hosts,
Andrew
and Aaron.
We put out new episodes every Monday and Thursday.
And today we're going over our excitement level for upcoming movies in 2025.
4, 3, 2, 1, action.
See what you did there. Very clever.
To be clear, we are talking about 2025, like Aaron said.
2025, 4, 3, 2.
So there's going to be a slew of movies coming out. We're going to go through what I think are some of the biggest ones and also most interesting ones. That's a key detail there too. Some of them are small movies. I'm going through IMDb's list of what's coming out January 1st to December 31st in 2025. So if I miss anything, let us know in the comments. And then me and Aaron will rate kind of on a scale of 1 through 10 how excited we are for those movies, maybe chat about those that we have things to say about. But this will be your one-stop shop. A video, I'm guessing, is going to be probably less than an hour, maybe less than 45 minutes of seeing what's going to be coming out in 2025. You don't have to do any of the research yourself. We'll tell you what a lot of them are about, maybe who's working on them, and get you a lot of the details here. But do make sure for all of our other content that you don't want to miss to go ahead and click on the subscription button, the notification bell, and hit a like on this video because it'll help more people get to see it and grow the audience. Make sure to share us with friends and family because it's the best way to help the show grow organically. But without much further ado, Aaron, let's get right into this and talk about some of these movies. Are you ready?
Yeah, absolutely. What do you got for me?
So obviously,
lay it on me.
Obviously, we got to talk about the number one first. It's the number one on the list. It's probably a lot of people's most anticipated. We got to put it down here. It is Superman.
Boom.
2025.
Starting off this lift hot. This trailer just dropped a week ago. We did a trailer reaction on it. So if you haven't seen that and you want to kind of hear our thoughts about the trailer, you can click on that. Andrew's actually not in that episode.
Technically, I am.
He didn't give any opinions other than his reaction at the very, very end. He was on vacation, but myself, Justin, and Zach went over the trailer, and it was a lot of fun. We talked about what we liked, kind of some of our questions, and a lot of our predictions for the movie as well.
But that's enough plugging. What is your rating 1 through 10? 1 being least excited, don't give a shit about this movie. 10 being you're rocketing out of your chair excited.
I'm going to give it a 9. I'm up there. I'm pretty high. I'm holding off that 1 just because, like, it's DC. I'm not sure yet. Like, this is kind of that prove it movie for them. I think James Gunn has proved that he's a great storyteller, great director. But I just got to see that, that I need that first movie to really be able to, like, give it that 10. But that trailer, man, it blew me away. I'm at a 9. I'm riding high on the Superman movie for next year.
So, to be clear, Superman's coming out next year in the summer, July 2025, directed by James Gunn, written by James Gunn, starring David Cornsweet as Superman, Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane, and a whole slew of cast to kick off the live-action DCU. It's a huge explosion into this new world, which is why I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 for my very first rating on this. And you'll see later as we go along that I'm not just going to be giving everything 10s. This might be my only 10.
We'll see. We'll see.
I'm super excited for this new world. I think Cornsweet looks like he's going to do a lot of justice to Superman, and that trailer just had me riding high. That trailer had me so hyped. It looks like there's going to be a lot of action in the movie, a lot of use of powers. The visuals look really strong. I know people have been back and forth a lot on the color grade for whatever reason, and it looks good.
Yeah, these people don't even know what they're saying. They're mentioning color grade, let's be honest. They probably just mean like, why is it during the day?
They're like, the suit isn't a shade of blue that I personally like. The color grade's bad.
Yeah, that's not
okay. Like, what about
color.
the skin tones? What
Yeah,
about
that's
like
not color grade. Yeah, the color grade technically is great. Stylistically, it's great.
Yeah, like they could have designed the suit when they made it with a shade of blue you didn't like. That's not
Color
necessarily
grade.
mean
Yeah,
the color
or the way
grade's
the
bad.
set looks.
Yeah, like
yeah.
I don't like the red in the suit. I don't like the blue in the suit. Like the color grade is like reflects everything that's shown in the image, not
Yeah.
just like
You can adjust colors, sure, but they're not like changing colors drastically from what they were shot on set to what you see in this trailer.
also like a key element of a color grade too is matching from shot to shot. I feel like.
Oh yeah.
So
absolutely, that's very important.
I mean, it's not like you're watching. Okay, we've only got 2-minute trailer, but it's not like it's drastically different in the different shots.
Yeah.
So, but that's just my take. I'm very excited for Superman.
Absolutely.
You want to talk about some other movies?
Yeah, let's go into it.
I want to mention it while we're early. Mickey 17.
Woo!
Supposed to come out Easter weekend in April. Directed by Bong Joon-ho, who directed great movies like Parasite, and starring multiple Robert Pattinsons, 17 Robert Pattinsons, starring Toni Collette, Mark Ruffalo, Stephen Yeun, huge cast.
I'm going to give it an 8.
And I'm going to also drop one. I'm going to give it a 9.
A 9? Okay.
I think I would have been closer to a 10 if it had come out according to schedule.
Yeah. That's what I think pulls back a little bit of my excitement.
This movie's been pushed now, if you don't know, like 2 or 3 times because it was supposed to come out this year, 2024. It was supposed to come out in March, and then it got pushed to the end of the year in like November, and then it got pushed again to January 2025, and now it's been pushed again to April 2025.
So I do want to be clear, though, and mention that it being pushed wasn't necessarily because they needed to do reshoots, that the test screenings went bad, or stuff like that. I haven't heard anything about like how screenings went or anything, or that there's been reshoots or whatnot. Like Kraven the Hunter got pushed a lot, and there was a lot of reshoots.
Well,
Captain America 4 is going through a lot of reshoots, and
this isn't like a MCU movie. I don't think you can tell Bong Joon-ho to reshoot his movie. You can't be like, oh, test audiences didn't like it. He'd probably be like, sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like telling Nolan to reshoot this movie.
I feel like that goes into like people's excitement factor. I feel like people maybe would have gone and seen Kraven the first weekend it was supposed to come out, maybe more so than now. But knowing that there was a bunch of reshoots and all that stuff, maybe it deterred even more people from going. So I want to be clear that that's not the case for this movie, and that's why I still have it at an 8 while you still have it at a 9.
Yeah, it's just for finding the most optimal time to release the movie to get the most eyes on it.
Right.
They want the movie to be a success. It's, I think it's possibly the biggest budget movie of Bong Joon-ho's career. He usually doesn't have to spend too much to make a movie, but he still makes great movies. Like I believe Snowpiercer is another one of his movies with Chris Evans, and that's a relatively low-budget movie for the sci-fi adventure that it is. But I'm very excited for that one as well. Let's go on further down the list on IMDb. We can't talk too much about each of these. I'll skip past 28 Years Later, but I do want to mention it because I know there's probably a lot of fans out there for this franchise, but I don't think you and I have seen the original 2 movies.
I have not.
28 Days and 28 Weeks. I haven't seen them yet.
Concept.
Yeah, I will definitely watch them.
Yes.
It's like a bare bones kind of movie too. Like they were made by Danny Boyle on low budget when they were made. This movie, I am interested to hear what you say because you watched Cobra Kai. This movie is Karate Kid Legends, the next installment in the Karate Kid franchise. Now blending together the revamp of the Karate Kid franchise by bringing in both Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio. So Ralph Macchio, obviously the star of the original Karate Kid in 1984.
Means it's all canon.
Yeah, it's all canon. So you've got Jackie Chan who taught Xiao Dre in the remake in like 2012 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So have you seen the trailer?
No, there's a trailer.
I don't know if it's a full length trailer, but at least teaser shots are out from the movie because you can see like the new star doing crazy backflips, and he looks tough.
No, yeah, I haven't seen that. Maybe that would skew my excitement, but right now it's at a 3 out of 10.
I had relatively low excitement besides the fact that Jackie Chan's coming back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've got a lot of Ralph Macchio. I've watched a lot of Cobra Kai. I watched like 5 seasons of it. But seeing some of the shots, this new kid, he looks like he can move. He looks like a force to be reckoned with. So I'm excited to see the action choreography based on the quick clips that I've seen of
What's
just
your score here?
his movement and speed. I'm going to put it up to a 7 right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's like, hey, I'm ready for that to come to
But the
theaters.
last one that Jackie Chan was in was really good.
That one was really
I
good.
really liked that one. I saw it
I
in
feel like
theaters
I
as a
have it
kid.
at a 3 because I watched, I think, the first season and a half of Cobra Kai, and it was good and
That's
entertaining.
when it was at its best.
But it didn't like keep me there.
Yeah.
I hadn't gone back to finish it at all, and it's been so long since I've seen the movies. But I do like that 2010 version with Jackie Chan and Jaden Smith.
Yeah, it's a great. That's a very good movie. It's very fun. But I don't know how they're gonna blend Ralph Macchio in with Jackie
Yeah,
Chan. I don't know.
it's not like I've been sitting on my couch being like, man, I really wish I could put on a new Karate Kid movie right now. But maybe it'll be a surprise like Twisters was
Yeah,
last year.
definitely seems like a cash grab. But I think that the choreography for the Karate Kid movie, the last one, was really cool.
Mhm.
So I want to see like the action in this movie. That's
Yeah.
why I put it up to a 7. I think the choreography for the show is usually decent and sometimes has good moments.
Yeah.
But on the movie budget level, I'm expecting some really cool fight scenes.
Yeah.
And the star looks, like I said, it looks like he can handle himself.
Cool.
And he's got a martial arts background. So it's also the first time the star of a movie about karate in the Karate Kid franchise has been actually from Asian descent, which you would think is unlikely.
Not in America.
Nope. Had an Italian kid starring in like the first 3 movies.
All right. What's next?
What's next on our IMDb
Lay it
list?
on me.
Got to remember that I'm on the list here.
Yeah.
I don't think either of us care about Electric State.
Haven't heard of it. Maybe
It's the Chris Pratt, Millie
I
Bobby
know
Brown.
more about it.
Chris Pratt, Millie Bobby Brown one. An orphan teenager traverses the American West with a sweet but mysterious robot and an eccentric drifter in search of her younger brother. We don't have to rate that one because we don't
Yeah.
really know much about it.
Yeah.
Have you seen the trailer for Death of a Unicorn?
No, I haven't.
It's a
I don't think I've heard of this one.
movie starring Jenna Ortega and Paul Rudd. It's about they hit like a unicorn with their car. A trailer dropped for this recently. And
Like a kids movie?
no, I think it's like PG-13.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know about that one.
See if I can find a rating for it. Directed by Alex Sharfman. Don't really know who that is. Yeah, the rating should be up here at the top, but maybe it doesn't have a rating yet.
Give me something I've heard of here.
Jurassic World Rebirth.
Ooh, okay.
This is I feel like this is a tough one. 'Cause
Yeah,
the franchise has been going a certain direction for a long time. Direction I think neither of us are a fan of. If it was like the third Chris Pratt Jurassic Park, I'd be bottomed out, down by a 0. But this new one, new fresh face as a director, ScarJo's in it. So what are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm really trying to go off of like gut instinct.
Also-
like, what's the first kind of feeling that I'm getting?
Before you rate it though, I do want to tell, and I know you said go reaction, I'm cutting into that, but Gareth Edwards is directing it if you didn't know that. And he directed Rogue One.
That's right, and the creator.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just in case that affects your score.
I'm gonna keep my score the same of what it was before you told me that, even though that does add to the movie's hope in being good, especially in the special effects department, for sure. Creator was beautiful. Rogue One is beautiful. I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10 because I want to be excited about it because I love the first 3 Jurassic Parks so much. My favorite one's obviously the first one. I really like the third one, second, and then the second one is my least of those 3. And then I've only seen the first one of the Chris Pratt movies.
I want to see what you just said written down on paper. That's Jurassic World, the Chris Pratt movies.
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah.
And it was a fun blockbuster, I guess, but it didn't feel the same as the original trilogy. And then they just, I feel like, kind of got further and further away from that feeling in the next 2 based off of trailers I've seen and then also people talking about the movie. So I wasn't a fan of that direction that they were going, like you were saying in the beginning there. But I am hopeful that maybe they're kind of getting back, maybe even like in the middle of where those 2 were. Like if
Blockbuster. And,
Yeah.
well, they're all blockbusters.
exactly.
Steven Spielberg is just like we talked about previously in a recent episode is the master of the blockbuster. And he can
Yeah.
make a blockbuster with nuance and with a lot of emotional
Originality.
depth and originality.
Yeah.
It feels like something totally new. He can find a great concept. Like Michael Crichton's Jurassic Park is such a good book. So that's where I'm going to land probably with you. I'll give it a 5 as well.
Okay,
I'm kind of
nice.
middling because I wish they would stop sucking the bone marrow out of Jurassic Park for cash.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it
It's a
devalues
good like horror thriller kind of,
do twist on it. Yeah.
you know, like let's go even deeper into the intense situations that the characters were in the first trilogy.
But I have some hope for it because, like we talked about, the director already. It's a good name. He's talented with special effects. He can handle the weight of
Great
a
shots,
franchise
probably,
movie.
yeah.
And then we've got
Scarlet Joe.
ScarJo signed on. We've got Jonathan Bailey signed on, who was just in Wicked. He's a good actor. Mahershala Ali signed on to this movie, so hopefully that doesn't mean it never gets made. But I imagine this will come out in the summer. Blade joke for you. But I imagine this will come out in the summer sometime next year. I don't see a month listed on it yet, but I'm
Which
excited.
is crazy because
Somewhat excited with
just got shot not too long ago, I believe. So
super fast turnaround.
Yeah.
But I hope they come up with a very interesting plot. It says
money.
It says 5 years post Jurassic World Dominion, an expedition braves isolated equatorial regions to extract DNA from 3 massive prehistoric creatures for a groundbreaking medical breakthrough. So maybe now they're looking into the science of looking at the dinosaur's blood to help solve some kind of mutation, maybe like help cure cancer or something like that. It's an interesting angle taking the medical angle in this movie. It feels a lot like the second or third original trilogy where they went back to the park after the park was destroyed. Feels kind of like that. But
it's like a re-chewed piece of gum.
I think Gareth Edwards is probably going to get handed a script for this. I don't think he's going to have a whole lot of input, on being able to change the story, because this is
How'd it go with Rogue One, you think?
probably also handed a script.
But he did a good job with that one.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll get something good here too.
Yeah, and the cast signed on was cool. So like I said, I'm hesitantly optimistic. I just wish they would stop beating a dead horse. It feels like it devalues the book, which I love the book, and devalues the movie, which the first movie of Jurassic Park is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah. Them getting a big star, I feel like, is a good sign and a bad sign at the same time.
Yeah, it's a tough line to walk. I mean, they got big stars for the last 3 movies, and they got people to come back for Dominion.
Yeah.
Apparently that was a huge flop. I stopped watching after the second Jurassic World movie because at the scene where they were like had a raptor at the mansion, I was just tapping out. I was like, I can't do with what they're doing.
Wasn't the kid like related to the dinosaur?
Yeah, they used like
weird
DNA of a human in the dinosaur. It's
all right. Let's move on.
getting a little far. So then the next one I have on here, there's a lot on here, by the way.
Yes. We should probably pick it up. Maybe be selective with our choices here. What's the next one?
Next one's Wicked for Good.
Wicked for Good.
You didn't watch the first one, so you probably don't have
I
a
haven't
lot.
seen the first one. I'm going to give this a 1 based off of that because I haven't had a lot of desire to go see the first one. But with the positive reviews of the first one, I would say I'm more excited to go see that than I would be for the sequel here because I haven't seen the first one yet. So
I'll give it.
Mine's a little skewed, I think.
1 is crazy, but I mean, you have no reference. I'll give it a 7, teetering towards an 8.
Okay, that's pretty high.
I like the first one a lot.
Yeah.
Then the next one, this is kind of a controversial one, Captain America: Brave New World.
This one's a harder one to give a number.
Yeah, if you asked me when the trailer first came out, it'd be a totally different score than today.
We I think I've done a pretty good job to this point of just kind of shooting out a number of where I like feel.
Told you it's a controversial one.
But this one here, I'm really, really torn. Because the trailer looked fantastic. It kind of felt like it had the same vibe as the original trilogy, and that is my favorite trilogy in the MCU. I feel like that's a pretty common take as well. I'm going to say a 6. I'm excited for it. I'm definitely going to go see it in theaters, and I'm going to be hopeful that it's good. However, the reshoots, man, are a big turnoff, and it definitely brings down my excitement. Kind of the opposite of what Mickey 17's going through. This one has had a bunch of reshoots where the test screenings haven't gone good. So it makes me less hopeful for this movie being good. But the excitement's still there. I'm going to say a 6. If it was right after the trailer, it'd probably be an 8.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a 6. If it was right after the trailer, it'd probably be a 7. Well, I'm going to agree with you with the 6 for now because these reshoots are just painting my confidence. And also, in the trailer, I don't like that cherry blossom tree scene looks like it's very CGI heavy, which, I mean, sometimes CGI, I mean, it's absolutely necessary for a lot of these films. I just, I don't like to be able to tell so much that I'm taken out of the story, and I don't like the look of some of the shots in the trailer. But then other shots look great, so the music in the trailer is phenomenal.
I feel like I noticed CGI less when we didn't have this podcast.
Yeah. Now it's all a debate of, is it noticeable, is it not noticeable?
Now we pick up on it almost too easily because we're so focused on, catching it. Yeah.
So this next one's interesting. It's a movie I hadn't heard of until this research.
Okay.
So the movie's called Black Bag. It's supposed to be coming out next year, like all these movies. The description is when intelligence agent Catherine Woodhouse is suspected of betraying the nation, her husband, also a legendary agent, faces the ultimate test of whether to be loyal to his marriage or loyal to his country. And the director of the movie is Steven Soderbergh, who also known for directing the Oceans trilogy, if I'm not mistaken, right? He directs the Oceans movies. He directed Aaron Brockovich, Behind the Candelabra, Traffic. Let me double check myself there on what if he's directed Oceans. Am I mixing him up with somebody else? I don't see it in his IMDb history. Actually, But the movie stars Michael Fassbender and Cate Blanchett as the husband and wife duo, and that cast is just totally stacked. I'm excited to see Michael Fassbender back on screen. Cate Blanchett's a phenomenal actress, and I thought the plot sounded really interesting. You know, agents being torn between two different sides.
It looks like there's a.
Yep, he directed Oceans. Okay, I'm never wrong.
Yeah, well, let's not say never. Looks like there's a trailer for it too. I haven't seen or heard of that.
Me too.
Up
Nothing.
to this point. I'll give it a 5, middle of the road, just because I haven't heard too much about it. Once I've seen the trailer, I think I can give it a more accurate score here.
Pierce Brosnan's also in this. Supposed to come out March 14th, so it's coming out really soon.
Yeah. What do you give the score?
I like the cast a lot. The plot sounds really cool. I have to watch the trailer to go higher like you, but I'm going to give it a 7. I think I think the plot sounds
pretty high
really
for not
interesting.
knowing anything about it. So
it's like an espionage movie, like an
Yeah.
espionage thriller. It sounds like it has
Yeah.
a lot of nuance and kind of interesting angles to it. Like, who do you choose?
right. All right. What's next?
Up next, How to Train Your Dragon live action movie.
Okay, so I went to the theater last week to see Mufasa, the Lion King, and they had some clips that I haven't seen at all for How to Train Your Dragon so far. And the clips look just like the animated movie.
I think
it was absolutely insane how good they matched the animation.
People are
live
again
action.
complaining about the grade for this movie,
Shut up.
but
Like,
I think this
Get
movie,
over yourself, guys.
I think
you
this
don't know what you're talking about.
So I think this movie does look it's a little bit lacking in color. I wish it was a little bit more colorful, especially for a translation from animated to live action. But I do think that it still looks great. Like you said, I think it looked like Toothless, and that's the most important thing in the whole movie to me. Toothless looks very good.
Yeah.
And I like the costuming looks pretty good. I've seen like stills from the movie where the shield looks like it should be red and it's more like a darker maroon, which that's just a style choice. For this kind of movie, I would want like a little bit more vibrancy, but I don't know exactly what tone they're going to approach it from, what they're going to change. I think it's
I don't know,
super.
It felt like it fit the vibe of like your kind of what you would think of for a Viking film. And I think that's kind of the look that they were going for.
I think nitpicking the grade is getting a little too common. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not here to tell them they did a bad job with the grade.
Yeah.
I do wish movies in general had a little bit more color to them. I've been seeing that complaint a lot lately that movies are lacking color. But I think that this movie, when I watched the trailer, like I said, or like you said, when I watched the movie in theaters, the trailer looked really cool. And I think it's so awesome that we're getting Gerard Butler to come and actually play Hiccup's dad, Stoic, because he voices the character.
I'll give this one a 6.5. Because I'm not fully on board still with the live action remakes. But I love How to Train Your Dragon.
I love it too. Dude, when I heard the music, when I heard that John Powell score being played in the trailer, I was like,
and yeah, I love the story. I thought the sets looked great, the costuming, the animation of Toothless was phenomenal for those few shots, and I liked the color grade. I don't know why people keep complaining about that. So 6.5.
I'm gonna give it 5, just because
middle of the road.
I've made a lot of complaints on here about how they keep doing live action versions instead of doing new stories.
Yeah.
And honestly, if you give me a live action and animated version of something, 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna prefer the animated version. I just love animation.
I do think the live actions that aren't musicals translate better.
Well, I think that might just be you not liking musicals.
Well, I like them when they're the animated version.
Yeah. But do you like any live action musicals whatsoever?
Yeah. I like The Showman.
Greatest Showman.
Greatest Showman. High School Musical.
The classics, just the hits.
Yeah. I don't watch too many musicals.
Yeah. So I don't know per se
Because
feel
like
the same.
in Mufasa, the music was the worst part. And granted, that's original songs, like they're brand new songs for this
Yeah.
story.
So for me, what I think it is when you take movies that were animated for a reason, like The Lion King, where all the characters are animals. I think it's a lot. To me, obviously they've hit financial success with these Lion King movies, but I think to me it seems less worthwhile. The movie's animated because they're talking animals. Like if you did Inside Out or Toy Story as live action, it would look horrendous because you're
Toy
talking
Story.
toys and talking emotions. Just those movies were Lion King animated for a reason.
They would make them look more like toys. They'd be animated toys that move and look like toys.
It just stuff like that doesn't make sense. Like Lilo and Stitch, I feel like is animated for a reason. But I feel like Lilo and Stitch and How to Train Your Dragon work a little bit more because it's mostly one thing in it that's unreal and fantastical. I guess Lilo and Stitch will have more because of all the other aliens that come into the story.
That comes out next year, right?
That's
You
another
wanna
example, yeah.
you want to go right into that one? What's your excitement level for a Leo and Stitch, another live action remake?
I'd say it's lower than How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah,
I'm gonna put Lilo and Stitch at like a 3.
I'll say a 3 as well. I do really like the original though.
Yeah, the
I
original's
love
great.
the show. Every time the show was on Disney, I would watch it. I like all the straight to TV movies that they had with Leo and Stitch as well. I've enjoyed those.
I just love the concept that Disney would touch on different cultures, and I mean, I feel like they still do it now. I mean, they did Moana, but they're doing Moana, Coco, Mulan, Lion King, Lilo and Stitch is on Hawaii, Frozen is, I guess, what Scandinavian cultures. So I like that concept, and Lilo and Stitch is really cool for that because it's like a unique location, and the original is a lot of fun. But I like How to Train Your Dragon more than Lilo and Stitch.
Yes.
So my live action translation excitement's going to translate to that.
All right, what's next?
Next is a kind of big one. The Fantastic Four: First Steps. What's your excitement level?
I think this is an important one for Marvel. I think this one needs to land.
Make
for
or break?
them. Yeah, like I think if this one doesn't land with audience, it's not gonna like bankrupt them or anything. I think they'll still be able to make movies and people will still go see them and stuff. But I think the fan base won't be as supportive. I mean, we can look at all the Sonyverse movies. Like they're still putting those out, and they're still making some money. Maybe not all of them making as much money as they need. But that was like 8 movies that they put out of that. So Marvel definitely will keep going. But I think if they want to keep that big fan base and be as celebrated as they have been up until this point, this movie has to hit. I think it's the biggest one for them coming out this year. My excitement level is a 7.
Okay. I think my excitement level is tough to draw on for this one.
It's just above Captain America.
I
think I said a 6 for Captain America.
The cast looks really cool. These posters get me really excited. I like the retro vibes to the poster. I don't know if I want the story to take place in a retro space. I'm gonna match you at a 7. I'm more excited than Brave New World, but I don't know how I feel about this. I think a lot of people like the retro, and I think it looks really cool in terms of like a poster. I just don't know what's going on in the story. And my real score is going to truly be reserved again for a
they're
trailer.
in an alternate universe where it's kind of like
Jetsons,
futures past. Yeah,
that kind of vibe. I don't know if I'd like that. I kind of want them to be in
past is future.
They're trying to find an excuse for why they're not interacting with the characters in the story till now, but I don't feel like you need to work so hard.
I feel like this part that's where the MCU I think is struggling. Is that they're having to do these like script gymnastics.
How do we get the X-Men in? But even though the X-Men weren't fighting against Thanos, it's like maybe they just weren't over there.
Yeah.
They're in a totally another part of the world. Are they gonna fly over? How do they even know it's happening?
Yeah. Well, the X-Men question would be like, all right, why is everyone okay with superheroes, but they're not okay with mutants?
Yeah, but that's in the comics.
Yeah, it also doesn't make sense in the comics. Anyways, let's go on to the next one here. We're tied there at a 7. The next one looks to be Snow White.
Yes.
Another live action remake.
Gosh, yeah. I think we can do Snow White pretty quick. It's the lowest is a 1. I'm gonna say 1. I'd be surprised if I see this in theaters.
Really?
Why? You think I would definitely go to see Snow White?
Based off of your box office journey that you had this past year, yeah.
I'm not going to see Mufasa.
And that surprises me. Yeah.
If there's a movie I have no interest in watching, then I won't go see it.
Because I feel like you've seen a few movies in theaters that I've passed on because I didn't want to go see them in theaters, and you went and saw them. So I'm surprised that
If I have
you don't think you'll see
if
it.
I have no interest in watching it, then Sierra has to have an interest in watching it for me to go see it, and I
Okay.
don't think she has any interest in watching this.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I'll be at a 1 with you too.
One with me also.
Yeah. Whatever. All right, what do we got going on next?
We already did Lilo and Stitch. We'll skip past some of these ones that I haven't even heard of. Let's go to Thunderbolts. What's your excitement level for Thunderbolts?
Ooh. Oh, man, this one's tough because the trailer, man. Dude, the trailer was so
Really
good.
yeah.
It was too good, and that makes me hesitant. So I'm going to land this right at the same as Captain America, and that would be 6. I think based off of the trailer, and if you told me that there was no reshoots and like Marvel's happy with it, it would probably be like an 8 based off that trailer.
Really good trailer.
And kind of the cast coming back and stuff. But because I don't know where Marvel sits right now, I'm going to say a 6. So I'm more excited than I'm not.
I'm gonna go with a 7. I'm a big Florence Pugh fan.
Yes.
And she's coming back as Yelena Belova, and she's going to be basically the lead of this movie in my eyes. Then we've got David Arbor. We've got a big cast. Bucky coming back into the movie, the Winter Soldier. So this is be a really interesting. It's like, if you haven't heard of Thunderbolts, by the way, since we're supposed to be talking about these movies a little bit, it's basically Marvel's version of the Suicide Squad. It's like a bunch of ex-criminals, ex-villains, morally gray characters coming into the fold to work for this off-brand version of Nick Fury. All right, let's go on to the next movie. Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, starring
Ooh.
Tom Cruise.
But dead is final. I'm going to give this one, especially comparing it to a lot of the other movies that we talked about, I'm going to give this one a 7. I'm excited for it. I think if this was last year and we were talking about the Dead Reckoning coming off the high of rewatching a lot of the Mission Impossible movies, I'd be saying an 8 or a 9. But I wasn't as big of a fan as Dead Reckoning as I was Fallout or, Ghost Protocol. But I have faith that this is still going to be a lot of fun either way. There's no way that it's going to drop down as steep as,
I think it's a reliable good time.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna give it a 5.
Wow. Yeah, your excitement for this franchise has really dropped.
Dead Reckoning was not it for me.
Yeah. I was talking to Shatz, who has been on the show a few times, and he's in our Discord. And he really liked Dead Reckoning.
Well, I'm surprised.
Yeah, so was I. We got to talk to him about that in the
Discord.
Discord.
Make sure to join the Discord so you can be part of those conversations. The next one I'll go to is Novocaine. It's a trailer we recently reacted to.
Yeah, we did. That trailer looked great. It looks like it also showed a decent amount of the movie too, so I feel like I have a good idea what I'm getting into. I hope that it didn't show all of the biggest parts of kind of their action and creativity with this topic, but I'm going to give this one a 7.5.
I'm going to give it an 8 for my excitement.
Yeah.
I really like the trailer.
Yeah.
And the concept is so strong and unique, and it's like...
You know what? To make it even, I'll give it an 8.
8 and 8.
Yeah,
let's do it.
Yeah.
This is a great trailer. Check out the Novocaine trailer. Check out our reaction if you haven't seen it. But it's about it's with Huey from The Boys, Jack Quaid, and his character has some kind of condition where his nerve cells can't feel pain. So he's on a journey to go and save this girl that he's dating, and he's getting stabbed and kicked and punched, and he's superhuman like the guy from Kick-Ass.
Mm-hmm.
There's no pain. Not just a high pain threshold, no pain. So it's cool, unique take on a bloody action movie because he can take endless punishment and not react to it.
Yeah.
Anyway, the next one on here, have you heard of Marty Supreme?
No.
It is the new Timothée Chalamet movie that'll be coming out next year. I think it's directed by one of the Safdie brothers, Josh Safdie. Being written by Josh Safdie and Ronald Bronstein. If you don't know the Safdies, they did a movie called Good Time with Robert Pattinson, and they did famously Uncut Gems with Adam Sandler. Almost said Andy Samberg. But this movie looks really cool. It has Gwyneth Paltrow, Timothy Chalamet as the star, as Marty. It looks like Tyler, the creator, is in it. But it's a movie about a famous ping pong player. And from what I understand, the description just says plot is under wraps, which is kind of cheeky. But I think that the reasoning is because, well, from what I've heard, Josh Safdie's taken some liberties with the script and the real life story of the professional tennis player, and there's going to be some like espionage thriller elements, kind of spy elements to the story. So that could just be rumors. So take it with a grain of salt, or take it with a pound of salt,
or all of the salt.
This one I think you might be excited for. Knives Out, Wick of Dead Man.
Yeah, I forgot this one was coming out.
It says plot unknown, released in 2025. This one's physically painting you.
Yeah, is an 8 too high?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it an 8. That's way too high, I think, for a movie that we know like very little about.
Based on the cast alone and Ryan Johnson directing and writing, I'll meet you at an 8.
Yeah, and the first two are great, especially the first one. It's in my top 20 movies. I think it's probably in my top 10 actually. Yeah, and the cast is pretty stacked, and
They just have a really unique tone, a really fun tone. I'm excited to get back into the Knives Out world.
Yes, and they're not having to deal with COVID this time around, which I think kind of pulled back a little bit of maybe where it was going to go.
Yeah.
Because they had to like write off like how they're able to do this in this time, which is like interesting because it's a movie, so you don't have like COVID didn't have to happen in this movie, but it did.
It's one of the only movies that addressed it, I feel like.
Yeah.
It was interesting. I really like that opening part where they're solving the puzzle with the box.
Yes.
I thought that was really fun. And then the one lady who just smashed it.
I want to rewatch them both again. Even the second one, I think I've only seen it once.
I've watched them both this year. But then, you ready to go on to the next movie?
Yep.
I'm going to skip Den of Thieves 2.
Okay.
I don't really know how to feel about that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I haven't seen the first one. So
I've seen the first one.
The trailer looked fun, though.
Yeah, I mean, Gerard Butler's great. He's always, there for an action star. He's a killer. But the next one I want to talk about is Ballerina, the John Wick universe movie, starring Ana de Armas. What is your excitement level for Ballerina?
7. I feel like I'm pretty excited, but I'm just not 100% sure. I really do like the John Wick movies. I think they kind of get a little carried away sometimes.
Yeah, get carried away, like letting a woman be the star of the movie. You're just not sure. You don't have the confidence that she can lead.
I thought that was pretty obvious. I didn't know we had to
state
it. Yeah, that's just shows you like the times that we live in now.
I'm gonna go above you because I'm a feminist, and give it an 8.
An 8. Okay.
I'm really excited for this movie. Ana de Armas is one of my favorite actresses working right now. I put her in like my list of top 5 actresses when I did it.
I thought you were gonna say hall pass.
That's a separate conversation, but she's one of the people that I'm watching to see what they do next, and I think it's really cool to see her do an action movie because she's done a lot of different kinds of stuff. She's done sci-fi with Blade Runner. She was in War Dogs. Knives Out is a mystery, so I'm excited to see her step into this action role where she is the action star. She's not some damsel, she's not a love interest like in the movie Red or something. She's the one kicking ass. Her tattoos look awesome. The choreography looks awesome. I think it's different directors, so that's always going to change things up. But we have Keanu coming back. So with that, plus Ana de Armas, I'm through the roof with excitement. The trailer looked really, really cool.
Yeah. I'm always just hesitant when they are kind of extending a franchise that has kind of reached its end. John Wick died in the last movie. Spoilers.
Or did he?
So it's just like, I'm a little hesitant when studios do that. But Alien Romulus knocked it out of the park this past year. So maybe this one will also do that. What do we got next?
So we're in the lower tier of IMDb's list. Do you want to try to rapid fire some of these?
Yeah.
All right. A Minecraft movie.
1.
2. The second trailer looked a little bit better. The second trailer has some creative uses of the block animation and seeing how the little blocks of Minecraft translate into real life. I think it could be fun and creative.
Okay.
I still think it looks like dog shit.
I can't believe you're excited for that movie.
2.
You're excited for it.
Yeah, it's rough.
That's twice as excited as I am.
I wish they would let Jason Momoa be in a good movie.
His wig looks pretty big.
Oh my god. Avatar: Fire and Ash.
Oh, we're jumping down a little bit. Okay, 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go 7. I don't think the story of 2 was that strong. So, but I still, I'm
I
still.
feel like you held that movie really high.
No, I like the story more than you and whoever else we were talking to. But I
Yeah.
think McNeil maybe when we did our year. I think the story was. I like the family element of the story, but I still feel like the story is somewhat predictable.
Yeah.
I liked it better than Top Gun Maverick, I think.
That hurts.
But I'm there for the visual spectacle
I'll
of it.
pretend you didn't say
It's a great movie to watch in theaters. I didn't get to watch Top Gun Maverick in theaters. And then,
Yeah, me neither. I would have liked it.
yeah, hopefully they'll get a re-release eventually. What about Brad Pitt and speaking of Top Gun, Joseph Kosinski and Brad Pitt's F1.
6. Is this a theater movie? We were kind of talking about this.
It's made by Apple TV, but I think it'll have a limited theater release. I'm gonna give it a 5. After hearing that, you're thinking about dropping yours down. You're like, Apple TV movie.
No, it's just I feel like it's that kind of a big movie where it should be in theaters for that long. For like a full theater
Well, it's a very expensive
you know?
movie. A lot of location shooting, a lot of actual
It's just
stunts.
yeah, it's just really easy to
Forget about it.
well yes, but it's also easy to convince myself not to go to the theaters and save the money and just wait a month or two and then watch it on streaming.
Yeah, think
But
about
then I don't have Apple. It's the only one I don't have. And then I never watch those movies like Wolf. And
just think about
then it gets lost.
Think about the sound and the visuals of a Joseph Kosinski movie.
I know.
The sound of those cars is gonna
and it's apparently
kill.
one of the most expensive movies ever made.
Super expensive.
Apparently the budget went up quite a bit.
ballooned.
Okay, let's keep going.
What about Flight Risk? Have you seen the trailer for that with Mark Wahlberg? He's got a crazy bald cap on.
Is that the one?
He's on a plane and he's like being transported as a criminal. No.
Didn't he start out
he's
as like
the pilot and they're transporting
then,
some guy and then he tries to kill him because he's an assassin.
Yeah.
And then they like need him to fly the plane.
I thought that already came out.
I would have guessed it did too.
5.
3.
I feel like I'm in the middle of the road. Like the trailer did look interesting.
It's okay.
But it didn't look like I haven't thought about it since.
I like the idea. It's like a one scene movie.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted Topher Grace to be in more stuff. I like him when
Yeah.
he's in stuff. But it just
I
seems
feel like it
okay.
could be, yeah. It could be either way.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm right in the middle.
Good surprise. Okay, what about Tron Ares?
This one's also tough because Tron Legacy was so good. It's like it feels like one of those first like legacy sequels, you know, because it happened so far after, but it happened before like the big craze of all these legacy sequels.
It stars the one and only, incomparable Jared Leto as Ares.
I know, and that's what brings my excitement down.
No, but
I
listen-
really don't.
Listen to the rest of the cast,
Like
though.
it.
Listen to the rest of the cast. It's got Jeff Bridges coming back, Evan Peters, Cameron Monaghan. I don't know if you care about Cameron Monaghan, but I like him a lot. He
Who's
plays
that?
the Joker in Gotham. He's Ian in
Okay, yeah,
Shameless. He's in
Yeah,
Jedi,
he's a good actor.
Jedi Survivor. I like him a lot. So there's Hassan Minaj is in there. So I really like Evan Peters.
4. I'm gonna say 4. The visuals are probably gonna be fantastic, but I
Ooh.
really don't like Jared Leto.
Yeah, I think they've maybe released some stills or something. I'm gonna say 5. A little,
Okay,
high, a little
pretty
higher
close.
than yeah, around the
I
same.
feel like on all of these, you've been like a point ahead
Yeah.
of me.
What about Sinners?
Sinners, which one is that?
That's the one, the twin vampire movie with Michael B. Jordan, directed by the director of Black Panther,
8.
Ryan Coogler.
8.
Oh, and it also has Florence. No, not Florence Pugh. It has Haley Steinfeld in it, right? That's what it is.
Does it?
She's in the trailer for like 1 microsecond.
Okay.
Haley Steinfeld. Yep.
Yeah. 8.
8. That's high. I'm gonna say 7.
That's crazy.
I think the trailer looks really cool. Cool lighting.
It does.
Great director. Great actors.
You know what? Oh, where did I just see that? I thought I saw that somewhere. Oh, that must have been a different movie. Okay, never mind.
All right. I think that there's not that many other good ones in here. I'll end it on 2 joke ones, I guess. Are you excited for Dogman, the DreamWorks animated movie follow up to The Wild Robot?
Probably a 9. Yeah.
Well,
the
you-
animation looks groundbreaking.
If you give a 9 to that, you probably give a 10 to this next one. What about Freakier Friday?
Ooh, another sequel coming back. I'll also give that a 9.
Oh, there's actually some cool ones down here in the bottom 50. The Amateur. A CIA cryptographer manages to blackmail his agency into training him to let him go after a group of terrorists who killed his wife.
Whoa, there's 2 right here.
Starring Rami Malek,
There's 3 movies right here
Rachel Brosnahan, John Bernthal,
that I'd want to see in this 50s range.
Zootopia 2, Accountant 2.
Zootopia 2, Accountant 2, and The Smashing Machine.
Oh, the Smashing Machine does look interesting.
That's supposed to be The Rock's like
Serious acting performance.
Let's do Zootopia. Where you sit for that? I'll be at like a 7.
Zootopia 2? I haven't seen really anything for it. I think it's a kind of contained story in the first one that doesn't need a sequel. I'll say 4.
The Accountant 2.
Oh, The Accountant 2? The Accountant 2? I'm going to say 8.
8? I'll say 7.
I love the first Accountant movie.
I just rewatched
it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I think that movie's phenomenal. John Bernthal is great in it. Ben Affleck's great in it. J.K. Simmons, Anna Kendrick, John Lithgow is such a cool movie. And I really like that director.
Yeah. And The Smashing Machine? Where you sit for that?
I really don't know jack about it. Maybe I'll sit at like a 5 because I feel like it's A24, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'll be excited for that.
It gives me the oh shoot, what was that movie? Why can't I think of it now? Ugh, names. What's the Zac Efron movie?
Iron Claw.
Iron Claw. It gives me that kind of vibe, you know.
The poster looks cool.
I'll give it a 6. Give it a 6.
Dude, I'm so excited for The Accountant 2. It'll be awesome. I feel like that movie does not need a sequel, but so much fun the first time around. They're doing a Predator sequel, Now You See Me 3. Oh, Love Hurts. That trailer was really cool. You see the Love Hurts trailer with Kiyoya Kwan?
I don't think so.
It's supposed to come out around Valentine's Day. It's like an action movie. It looks like a really cool return to form Jackie Chan style movie. So I'm excited for Love Hurts. I'd probably give that one like I'd probably give 7.5.
Yeah, that's probably wraps up all the big movies here. That's at least on this list.
They're doing so many sequels again. They're doing Nobody 2, The Accountant 2. They're just going back to a bunch of action movies that people enjoyed. But, you know, it is what it is. They're going to be doing nonstop sequels forever and ever. But I think next year looks really cool. I'm very interested to see what they do with some of these installments. Hard to rate some of these that we don't know much about at the bottom. Like Now You See Me 3 is hard to rate.
Yeah.
There's really not a lot of details on that. The Running Man, oh, yeah. We don't know much about that, but The Running Man's a remake of the original that I think starred Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now, Edgar Wright is making a new Running Man starring Glenn Powell. It's about like a dystopian future where people
run.
Or they're like win money if people don't catch them. So I'm very excited. It's like a game show or something like that. So I'm really excited to see The Running Man. Has one of my favorite directors of all time with Edgar Wright. I probably honestly, and Glenn Powell's one of my favorite actors right now. So that one I probably give like a 9. But yeah, I'm really glad we got the chance to talk about these. I'm super excited for next year. I think, oh my gosh, The Accountant 2 is only going to be an hour and a half, but it's still directed by Gavin O'Connor. So that's awesome.
So it sounds like our most anticipated for both of us is Superman.
Yes.
That's the highest one that we're looking forward to this year. Rightfully so. I think it's the biggest movie of the year coming out. It's got a lot riding on it, and I'm excited to see it. Again, we did that trailer reaction coming up, so I'm excited for our next episode that like me and you can kind of talk about because we haven't really talked about it too much outside of this episode, really. But yeah, any other closing thoughts on 2025's upcoming movies?
Other than just asking you guys to make sure to comment and tell us what movies that we might have missed, or even better, instead of correcting us, you could tell us what your favorite and most exciting movie is for 2025 that you're looking forward to the most. Let us know why.
Absolutely. If you want to join in the conversation a little bit more in depth,
Jinx. Now you can't talk. Aaron. The rest of it's just silence. Literally 5 minutes of silence.
But yeah, if you want to talk a little more in depth on different movies and shows that you're enjoying and see what other people think, you can join our Discord. The link is in the description to this video. There's a bunch of people in there. A few of our friends are in there from the show as well. So you can chat with them, watch their episodes, and so on. It's a new year, which means prices rise.
New billing cycle.
We did increase the price to get in. Tell them how much it is, Andrew.
Unfortunately, 200% of nothing is still free.
Yeah, it's totally free. Just click that link. If the link is expired by the time you click on it, just let us know that in the comments and we'll update it for you. And then you can click on it and join. We look forward to having you there. We post new full episodes every Monday and Thursday. Make sure you hit that subscription button and notification bell so you don't miss a thing. We're really excited for the upcoming year and another year of backseat directing. We have a few more episodes coming out in the next few weeks of recaps from last year and also some kind of looking ahead episodes. So be sure you check that out. January is going to be a big month for us and we're really excited to have you on board. Thanks for watching, and
that's a wrap.